right, this is your 6-1 lesson. There we go. All right, so we're going to do a quick 8 problems together. So today we are finding the quotient to division problems with powers of 10 in the divisor. So we are able to do everything pretty quickly today using some mental math. So looking at our first problem, I see that there is a 0 in the first and the second term. So we can cancel those 2 zeros out. And looking at my new problem, I have 460 divided by 1, which is 460. All right, then next one, again, I have a 0 in my divisor and my dividend, so I can cross off zeros in both. 46 divided by 1 is 46. Now, I get to this one. Unfortunately, there's not a 0 in both of them, so I'm stuck a little bit. So what I like to do is I like to write my first term, I like to rewrite it. And if there's not a decimal, I make sure that I place a decimal at the very end of the number. If there is not a decimal in your number, the decimal goes at the end. Okay? And then to divide, we are going to divide by a power of 10. We can just move the decimal to the left however many times. So if I take this decimal, I will move it to the left once because there's 1 0. And my new answer is 4 6/10. Okay, again, I'm gonna write that first term. Again, I'm only dividing by 10, so I'm going to move it 1 time to the left. And my answer is 0 46/100. You don't have to put the 0 there if you don't want, but I like to get in the habit of writing that 0. All right, for the second part of this, I don't have a 0 in both terms, so I can't do my little cheat up here. But I am only dividing by 1, so anything divided by 1 remains the exact same. So I'm going to remain at 98.6. If I move on to the next one, I can't do my shortcut again, so I'm going to write that first term, 98.6. And there is a decimal given to us, so I can move that decimal to the left 1 time. Boop. And I have 9 86/100. Okay, again, 98.6. This time I'm moving it twice to the left, once, twice, and I have 0 986 thousandths. All right, and one last one together. I have 98.6. This time I'm going to move it once, twice, 3 times, once, twice, 3 times. And in that empty space, I'm going to put a 0. So I have 0.0986. One thing to remember when you are doing these types of problems, we are dividing. And almost always, or at least for right now, when we divide, we are getting smaller. Our quotient should be smaller. So the way that you remember that we move to the left is you will end up with a smaller answer than you started with, right? 4.6 is much smaller than 46. If you go to the right, you're going to get a larger number. So use that to remember which way to go. All right.